In 5:15, I'd like to call Thursday, March 28th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Frank Meekin. Need a motion to adopt an agenda with the memorandum.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Suzie, seconded by Donna. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Looking for motions for approval of February 22nd, 2024 Planning Commission meeting.
Have one change that I found after I put it on the website. On the last paragraph there, of the bigger paragraph, you should say, the pole barn size that we approved is changed to 52 by 50 by 16. So I will amend that. So the motion would be for accept this with the change.
Was what was approved at the last meeting?
That's what was approved is what I just put in red there.
Got it. So it was a typo.
Yeah, the lean-to I had on the other side.
So they didn't make it any bigger?
It's not bigger. It's bigger than the ordinance about I had the lean-to on the wrong side of the barn when I filled out the time, and I went back through the minutes and saw it.
Okay, thanks. I'll make a motion to approve the corrected minutes.
I'll second it.
Motion was made by Jay, seconded by Suzie. All in favor signify by saying aye for the changes of the size of the building.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried.
So the first item on the agenda we have is determine the fee for the chicken ordinance that was passed. My thoughts were to maybe kind of keep it a little bit low, so it's not too cost prohibitive. I'm assuming there's going to be some expenses building a coop, buying the chickens and feed. So my recommendation is a fee of 20, but it's obviously open for discussion.
What do other communities have?
I didn't check. I know one of them's 20, one of the ones I looked at, but
And this is every year that they have to?
yep. Yeah, it'll be an annual renewal fee every year.
What is a dog license? I'm sorry. Dog license or
I don't know.
That's
if it's 5 licenses.
that's only 5?
5 per dog.
Okay.
This proposed, Dave, is 20 for all of them,
Up to 4 chickens.
up to 4 chickens. So
Yep.
a little
Okay, so
different
it
scenario.
still would be 5.
5 apiece. Yep,
Okay.
lines up.
I would like, so $20 and you said renewal every year. I would like to see a $20 initial fee and a $10 renewal fee. Go there for the $20 and inspect it and do whatever. Don't have any complaints all year and they just come in and want to renew next year. I don't see why we couldn't do $10 for a renewal. I would like to put that in the form of a motion, please. $10 for a renewal.
You're making that as a motion?
I'd like to make that motion. $10 for a renewal fee.
And 20 for the original fee.
20 for the original if you have to. I don't know if you're gonna go there and inspect everything originally, but if they don't have
Yeah.
any issues all year long and just need to renew in a year or something,
That
So
makes
what
sense.
happens if you do have to go back and what if there are issues? I mean, then do we
If they're-
rescind it or how does
If they're
that?
in violation of the ordinance, we can rescind it.
Okay,
That's our option.
and we have a process for that?
Well, it's no, but yeah,
Okay.
it's in the ordinance, so
Okay.
I would be enforcing that. So
I'll second
we
that.
do have a motion.
Okay, we got a motion on the table for $20 initial fee, $10 after that per year. And second, and is there any more discussion on it? All in favor of the motion that's on the table, signify by saying aye.
Wait, did you have discussion?
Yeah.
Okay,
On this form, it says, are you the homeowner? What is the difference if they are, or they aren't? If they're. Okay, I get it.
they
Never
have to
mind.
sign off.
They have to
get
sign
their-
off and it's on here. I see it now. Yeah. Okay, I guess I don't have discussion.
And that was written in the ordinance as well to get the owner's permission.
And the maximum number of chickens is 3, is that what 4?
Okay, we got a motion on the floor
Second.
and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye. Nay.
Motion's carried.
All right, the next item on the agenda is a front yard fence request for 812 Shiacton. This property is it's a corner lot. We've had a lot of issues with police and junk at this property for quite some time. We do have a new owner in there. He's got the property cleaned up now and he's looking to install a fence in the front yard to allow his dog, because he doesn't have much space there on the property, so. He's looking for a chain link fence in the front yard of this property.
On here, it's showing that chain link fence in the red, correct?
That's correct.
Going across his driveway, right where well,
He'll probably have a gate there, I'm assuming, for his entrance for the driveway and the. Yeah, it wouldn't be
Is that right here?
closed.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to have access to the front of the house. You can have a gate there. You can't have a post on. That's for fire. So, get access to dog.
He's having dogs in there.
I think he has a dog.
The fence is gonna be how high? 4 feet?
Well, I find out they do make a 3-foot chain link fence now. Normally 4 foot is what people are looking for and what we've kind of been seeing. So, I'm assuming it'd be a 4-foot private or 4-foot chain link fence. It may be 3, however.
There'd be none of that laughing in the chain link, right? It'd be see-through.
Has to be 75%.
This just seems very particular with the driveway. I've never seen that in town. Do you know of any other properties that have fence going across the driveway like that? Just seems kind of odd.
I drew this in for him. He's gonna have where he can access his garage, obviously. So,
See that as commercial or something, not residential.
yeah, he has a car, so I know he's gonna be parking in there. So he'd probably have a gate to close that off.
So just, I guess for my, because we always get these variances, why is this being brought to us as a variance? What doesn't it do? Or how it doesn't align with our existing ordinance that we have to give a variance on it?
Our ordinance.
It's not a variance.
Our ordinance
just
states that if it's a fence in the front yard, it has to be approved by
Okay,
the planning
that's what I, so how are we going to, when we redo our stuff, Is that something that we would address at that time?
Correct. We would
Okay.
have the, through our zoning process, depending on how you guys wanna address
Yeah,
that, so that the standards are created,
right,
so that Dave can go through and approve per standards.
Yeah.
If you guys want, instead of bringing all this stuff to the commission.
right.
Review all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I mean, is somebody keeping track of some of those concerns that are being
Mhm.
brought here all the time, so that when we start that process, that these issues are addressed? Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so that's, yeah, good.
How far off the sidewalk you gonna?
It's gotta be a minimum of a foot off the property line, so, if there's a sidewalk, normally it's almost 2 feet. Cause the sidewalks historically are about a foot inside. Or outside the property, line, right away.
There's not much.
Yeah.
Cause there's not much room
Room there.
No, there isn't.
on that corner.
Mhm.
I'll ask
I
a
did
question
go over
again.
there. This wouldn't create a vision obstruction of any kind for pedestrian traffic or. vehicle.
Firefighter and utilities, what is your aspect and take on that?
Pardon?
Said, I'll ask again, as from the firefighter and utilities in the room, what are your takes on the fence being in the front and obstructions?
I don't like fences, but
Me
I
neither.
have no way of prevent, I mean, everybody has fences nowadays, so we work around them.
It's really a short distance, from the house to sidewalk to where a fence could go. I mean, I'm not
It
quite.
is very, it is a
I-
very short distance.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the house is almost right to the sidewalk. I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's probably 8 foot a yard there, I'm guessing, somewhere in that ballpark.
What kind of dog does he have?
I don't know.
Sure, he's just trying to
He had concerns about dogs coming. in
Yeah,
and
yeah,
starting
he doesn't want to have to keep it on a leash.
I think his concerns were more dogs coming into his yard when his dog's out as opposed to his dog getting out.
I always found it interesting why you only have to be a foot off the property line. Who mows that? I mean, there's no way to mow the lawn.
You're still responsible.
I know, I just say, I always find that funny that a foot, I mean, who's gonna mow that?
There's not much lawn.
No, I always find that interesting but that's just the way the code is.
Hard to maintain a foot
Yeah,
without trespassing on the other property.
Mhm.
They're addressing that. We can look at that too when we look at our ordinance rewrite, if that's the direction we want to go.
And as far as on the west side of that house, is there gonna be enough room to park a vehicle when they crossing the sidewalk where the fence goes? Because if he puts it in front of the garage, I don't think there's gonna be enough between the garage and the back of the fence or the gate.
Then,
Probably not.
yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I almost feel like we need more,
He might
better
be able to-
measurements.
He might be able to, instead of encapsulating the garage into the fence, take it over to the house there.
Come over to this.
Corner of the garage.
Be the
is how-
south
yeah, it's
side.
how most
Well, the driveway,
Yeah.
yeah, the driveway.
access the gate to the
So
fence.
that up front there is not the garage, that's house. The garage is there on the side there, facing the Lima side.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a garage there where the cursor is. That's part of the house.
Right here?
Like I said, he could probably come across and hit the corner of the house there and not worry about the gate of the garage.
We come to the south side of the driveway and connected it to the corner of the garage.
And we could approve that with that stipulation if we want.
Cause otherwise he ain't gonna be able to park a vehicle. I wouldn't think.
I feel like we need better measurements of the yard to find out what we've got going on there. As far as where that fence can go to and whether or not he'd be able to park a vehicle with a closed fence, if he really wants to go that far. Can we approve it all that way with a closed fence if he puts a gate in? Or do we have to approve it shorter for him?
They make gates that, go with the fence line too, they're on rollers. They can just.
Well, and I understand that. What I'm saying is if he can't get a vehicle in that driveway and close that gated fence, we need better measurements to know that. To know whether or not we can approve it as is up there with a gate, or if we need to approve it to the side of the, not going across the driveway.
We could approve it without going to the driveway tonight, and then he could apply if he really wants it across the driveway. We could reapply and we could determine if we want to go that extra.
Dave, why don't we, like in this scenario, we should have him come in because it's very difficult for us to understand what's
Okay.
going on. So I would say, let's invite him into the next meeting so we know what his,
So we're gonna table this.
Yep.
I would suggest that at this point.
And just so we don't get something that we don't want there.
Exactly.
And I guess my other concern is between that smaller building and the side and the back of the house, what's going on there? I mean, not that that would matter. He could put up whatever he wanted there. Would not be our concern, but at this moment, it wouldn't actually enclose the front.
It would make more sense than doing the dog out the front like that. Put
Do
it-
the backyard
Yeah.
instead, yeah, but I guess he can do what he wants as well. Maybe he can't. But, you know,
It's a little limited that space.
You know, if it's a homeowner or a rental property?
He's buying it on land contracts technically, so.
are we allowed to know the gentleman's name?
Pardon?
Are we allowed to know the gentleman's name?
Yeah, I can look it up for you. I don't have it in front of me here.
I think it's a good idea that we table that till we get more information. And,
Gives them a fair opportunity as well to give an explanation instead of us just.
assuming,
Yes.
Yeah.
yep, assuming, absolutely.
I'll see if he wants to attend the next meeting, otherwise we'll amend this to look at some of your concerns. All right, next item on the list, site plan review for Festival Foods. We have some representative online if we have questions. If we remember back in October, dealt with an easement for this property. At that time, they provided us basically what they were looking for in the way of the site plan. When they proposed that, so they've got all their approvals from the state. Dealt with the DNR, they're good with it. It doesn't trigger any zoning issues in a negative way. So approval of the addition.
Before we jump into that, Pudge and Grant, representing Festival Foods, is there anything you guys want to add regarding the site plan review?
Yeah, hi, this is Pudge from Shoe Construction. The expansion is going to the north and to the east. It's kind of squaring out the building, if you will. The purpose of the expansion is for the deli and produce area. Give them a little more wiggle room in the back room, if you will. Loading docks and whatnot are staying as is, whereas the parking lot will kind of square up along that easterly edge. And one fire hydrant is getting pushed over a bit into that island. And then that island's getting eased a little bit. It'll be a nicer thoroughway there. The look of the building, I think they're looking at doing a refresh and a new paint scheme. I believe some elevations were attached to the packet. Other than that, it's a pretty nice, straightforward project.
the council for sure knows, but I believe we brought this to the planning commission as well, that we narrowed up the utility easement in this area. We did that several months ago to help accommodate, to allow this to happen. So that process has been completed already as well.
Correct. This is Grant Ducatch with Excel Engineering, and yeah, I can echo what Pudge said as far as that addition and as far as that easement. We've definitely been on the front end of coordinating that and narrowing that up to allow for this addition. There's actually a portion of the existing building that was within that easement. So cleaning this up will take care of the existing condition as well as the proposed condition for the building addition as well. And we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Hearing none, I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor from Mark, seconded by Susie. Is there any more discussion on it? See no more discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you, Pudge and Grant, for attending.
Yeah, thank you all. Have a good
Yep,
night.
thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
You as well. Happy Easter.
Next item on the agenda is a proposal for conditional use grant for outdoor storage at 1705 Hillshire Drive. The gentleman is here that owns the property. This is where Hillshire kind of ends down there at the T. He's purchased that property that's outlined in the yellow there. He's got plans to build 132 unit mini storage complex there. Two of the buildings he's going to start this year. He's seeking a conditional use grant for outdoor storage for some camper and RV units, just to kind of offset some of the costs in construction and getting the lot maintained. So he's also willing to just limit this to a 2-year storage there while he's putting up the buildings. So conditional use grant does require planning commission approval. He has also filled out a application form. He meets the criteria that's set out in the ordinance to allow for a conditional use grant, and I'm recommending approval.
So again, just to kind of reiterate.
Yep.
The storage unit is allowed by right in that zoning. The commission is only considering to allow the storage of outdoor storage for the RVs and stuff like that for a 2-year.
2-year maximum. Yep.
That's the conditional grant.
Correct.
That's to the commission tonight.
Yep.
Just to make that clear.
So can you, I guess I don't, I mean, maybe I don't understand what outdoor storage, I mean, and is it just open and where they can just park trailers, RVs and, or whatever? Is that?
Yes.
I think we have the owner here that can
Okay.
provide more information.
Good evening. My name is Robert Prozenko, the owner of A&R Storage. I do live here in the city of London. I purchased this property in November when I consulted Dave on its approval for storage units and that it would be allowed. Due to the current interest rates and cost of construction, I'm afraid that we're looking for other ways to generate revenue while we get our first 2 buildings up. The first 2 buildings that are going up are going to be the 2 buildings on the west. And I know Dave said they are mini storage, but they are anything but mini storage. These are going to be primarily for higher end customers, large campers, large tractor trailers, etc. The biggest problem we found with storage units is you can't get trailers in them. You can't get campers in them. They're all 10 feet high or less. Nobody likes that. Nobody has large storage. So the payment for this land should be somewhere in the couple $1,000 range a month. But current interest rates have drastically increased that. So we're asking to be able to put 10 to 20 or so campers. I don't want just rubbish parked out there. I don't want wore down campers out there. I don't want trailers or motor homes that are falling apart. I would like to park decent, well-maintained campers out there. They will not be haphazardly parked. They will all be in a row, neat, where the owners can back up to them, hook up and go. And I drive by the property every single day. So if something's amiss, I'll take care of it. I live about a mile away.
Dave, can you tell me what's in our ordinance that he needs approval for that?
For conditional use, grant. for
Well,
outdoor
to
storage.
park on a lot,
In that zoning district, if you have outdoor storage, you have to get.
does that other storage facility have that same conditional use? Cause he parks campers and boats.
I don't recall him. Ask him, on the other end of town here?
No, it's right, it's, it'd be
Oh.
kitty corner from his property, where the cabinet place is on Hillshire Drive, there's a storage facility. And there's several pieces of equipment parked there year round.
Yeah, that was before my time here. I wouldn't know if they went through the process to do that or not.
Remember them coming to us.
So Dave can check in on that.
I will mention that, I think there's only one house that would even have, and it's a little bit of a distance, that would even be impacted by this, so. And then I would
Yeah,
just, yeah,
so those houses that are behind there,
well,
that's
so
on
the-
Oak Street.
yeah,
And is there going to be quite a distance? I know there's
Yeah,
some
that's-
trees and stuff because I drove by it or drove out
yeah,
there.
there's-
You know, is that
yeah, I
a
don't-
barrier kind of thing there or not?
I
Is
don't
there
know,
a barrier
topography-
between yours
topography-wise, I
and?
guess,
There is a considerable amount of distance between my property and those houses. There are
Okay.
several trees and shrubs there. If
Okay.
you drive out there now, it's a little barren, but when it greens up in the spring here,
Mhm.
it's got a pretty good barrier. I estimate that the closest house from my property to the north is probably 150 yards away.
Okay.
And the only other property that I think would be a concern is the one directly to the east. He, as well as the gentleman to the south to him. But I
Riverside.
believe only one of
Tool
those
and
is
Carpet?
technically in the city.
Is the property gonna be fenced at all?
I'm not going to fence it immediately due to cost. It is in the plans that when we get our 5th building up, to fence it in and possibly make it secured storage. But the struggles of starting a new business do not allow me to do that at this time.
That was my only thought with having outside storage.
So currently, I've got a couple trailers parked out there with equipment on them that I've been using to clear trees and do a little bit of dirt work and move some boulders and things like that. I've got them parked on the southwest side of the property behind the trees. They're not really visible or too visible from the road. I think if, campers would be parked on the north side of the property, the dirt mound you see in the middle is about 7 feet 9 high. So it would be a considerable barrier for the road. I would not be too concerned about vandalism or theft with there being businesses on that road that are running most hours of the day. Is the committee's concern the curb appeal from the main drag of the city?
There's already in between those houses, well, there's already a set of storage units out there. Off in Schultz's house, right in there,
This one?
No.
2 down.
Straight up.
Oh, there.
right there. And I know he's prepping for another one right out in front of it. So I don't see no problem with putting storage units
Kinda hard to tell them no.
at the
We
end of
have
it.
storage all over. There's storage on the end too.
Yeah.
On Becker Road.
Yeah.
There's.
That's hid, yeah, you're hid pretty good back there.
Yeah,
And as
that-
far as outside storage, you ain't gonna see it from the main drag because of the buildings. And you got that tree line by the apartments, you ain't gonna see it.
And the request is for a limited time, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is for 2 years. With current interest rates being so high, the bank forecasts that interest rates will drop within the next 2 years. And it will also help with cash flow with getting our first 2 buildings up.
And then eventually it's all gonna be for enclosed storage.
Correct. It will all be enclosed storage. They will all be all metal buildings, so there's no fire hazard.
I'll make that motion to accept.
I'll second it.
are we stipulating the 2-year window?
For the 2 years.
With the 2 years.
Mayor? Sorry.
Yeah,
He
I made
made
the
it.
motion.
I second it. Okay, there's a motion on the floor to allow him a
Conditional grant.
conditional use permit for 2 years for outside storage on his lot. And it was seconded. Any more discussion?
No, because we had that issue with the conditional use earlier this year. Are we setting ourselves up for anything that could cause an issue in the future about allowing a conditional use permit?
For outside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to protect ourselves here because of what happened earlier. You know, any concerns that you may have on that we need to think about before we vote?
So one of the good things is that with the last one prompted the creation of the application. So now we
Okay.
have an application now that
Good.
goes through the process, which is good. Plus, for the committee to deny this, there has to be really good reason.
Okay,
And I didn't hear with this discussion
Good.
that really good reason at this point in time. So
good.
that
Right, and every-
led you to believe the
Every situation is different.
correct. And you have to evaluate those conditions separately as well.
Right. So if somebody else brings something in, we gotta look at what's surrounding his property
Yep.
too,
Yep, I agree.
before you can do it. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. Okay,
Next tentative meeting date is April 24th, 2024. I do have another front yard fence proposal on for next month already. So,
I would suggest that we invite those people.
yeah, invite
Get
both
them
of
come
them in.
Okay.
So we have their input as well.
God damn it.
And then we'll move this one that got tabled to the next agenda as well.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
You said
Okay,
the next meeting date was tentative for April 24th.
yep,
That's a Wednesday.
Actually, it should be the 25th.
be the 25th. Okay, see, there's nothing else on the agenda. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Also move.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.